Welcome to the AudioShare driver architecture overview video. We'll be covering what drivers are available in the AudioShare integration with Control4. We'll cover what each of those drivers do and kind of an overview of how those drivers communicate with each other and how we virtualize the audio distribution methodology of a point-to-point audio network, which is what AudioShare does with a traditional audio distribution system, which is what Control4 uses. First of all, we'll look at the different drivers that exist. We have three drivers right now: the AudioShare hub driver, the AudioShare wall station driver, and the AudioShare door station driver. In the future, we will be releasing the control relay module driver, but until then, we only have the three. First of all, let's look at the AudioShare hub driver. So its main purpose is to route all data communication between AudioShare system and the Control4 system. Now, with this said, it also acts as the central coordinator of the other wall station and door station drivers and the AudioShare system and the Control4 system. So any communication that needs to happen, let's say from a wall station to within Control4 out to the actual wall station and AudioShare system, and actually those data, that data actually gets routed through the AudioShare hub driver. The other thing that the hub driver does is it handles all music requests. So when let's say, for example, an AudioShare wall station in a room is set to be the audio endpoint in Control4 for that room, the starting and stopping of that music for that room is actually handled within the AudioShare hub driver. As well as if an AudioShare wall station is acting as a music source, input source for the Control4 system, that would actually initiate the music on that wall station as required by Control4. Along with that, the AudioShare hub driver also handles intercom pages. So anytime an all call is pushed on an AudioShare wall station, that event is fired by the AudioShare hub driver to go into the composer's programming. So if you want to automate something when the all call intercom is started or when it ends, those events are triggered within the AudioShare hub driver. If you've got the AudioShare hub driver also set up to be able to send that intercom page to Control4 endpoints, then that's where it's defined as well, and the actual starting and stopping of audio is handled that way. The input and output connections, those are all handled on the AudioShare hub driver. So in Composer, if you're defining what inputs are coming in or outputs are going out of the AudioShare system, that's all handled through these virtual I/O ports of the AudioShare hub driver. And we'll talk about what a virtual I/O port means in later slides. The AudioShare hub driver also handles clock synchronization between Control4 and the AudioShare system, ensuring that the AudioShare system is running the exact same time as what Control4 is. AudioShare hub driver also handles the system-wide pop-up messages. There's actually two types of pop-up messages. There's a system-wide, which goes to all of the AudioShare devices, and then there's just a specific device pop-up message. If it's a specific pop-up message, that's handled by the wall station driver. If it's a system-wide pop-up, it's actually handled by the AudioShare hub driver. The last thing of significance that the AudioShare hub driver handles is address book synchronization. The AudioShare system has its own address book, and to ensure that the names of rooms are consistent with what's in the Control4 project, we use the AudioShare hub driver to synchronize room names. Let's now look at the wall station driver. The first thing that it handles is defining all the shortcut key functions. So on a wall station, when you push function 0, it goes into what we call shortcut key mode. And what this does is it will just pass key presses onto the AudioShare wall station driver. This driver can either perform a predefined function, which you'll find in the driver itself, or it will just fire the events that you can use in Composer to customize your own automation when a particular button is pressed. Anyway, the wall station driver handles all of that. Wall Station Driver also handles List Navigator requests, including managing the session of that List Navigator. So anytime a wall station is accessing the Control4 Navigator routines, this Wall Station Driver actually handles that. Last thing the Wall Station Driver will do is the specific pop-up messages. As I mentioned before, there's the system-wide and then there's the Wall Station specific, and so you would define those within the AudioShare Wall Station Driver. The last driver is the AudioShare Door Station Driver, and it basically has one function, and that is to fire an event when a door chime starts and stops, which can be used within the Control4 programmer to perform some type of automation or routine when those events happen. Now let's look at the overall communication between drivers. So as I mentioned before, the AudioShare Hub driver is the actual central coordinator, and it also takes care of all communication between Control4 and AudioShare, the actual physical connection over Ethernet or serial cables in the future. So anytime that a wall station on the AudioShare system wants to communicate to its wall station driver, it will actually go through the AudioShare Hub driver. The same thing is true for the Door Station driver. The AudioShare Hub driver also accumulates all of the information about each of the wall stations by querying each of the wall station drivers and door station drivers for what that wall station address would be, what its room ID, what its room name is in the project, and it will acquire all that information and keep track of it within the driver. If a wall station driver needs to send information to a wall station on the AudioShare system, then it would send it through the AudioShare Hub driver, and then the AudioShare Hub driver would send it on through Ethernet or the serial cable in the future to the actual AudioShare wall station. Now let's look at the differences between audio distribution methodologies. So first of all, in Control4, it uses a traditional distribution methodology where input sources are matrix switched out to outputs, or what we call zones, and that can either be done through an audio or video switch or through a distribution amplifier. The nomenclature for that is typically like a 4x4 or an 8x8 or 16x16, where the first number represents the number of inputs on that switch and the second number represents the number of outputs or zones available, and that can be any combination of numbers. AudioShare works differently in that it is a point-to-point network. There is no matrix switch that's occurring. It's just one wall station acting as a source and another wall station acting as a destination at any point in time, and any combination thereof. As such, you can have an enormous scale of inputs and outputs that can be routed to each other. For the actual limitation in AudioShare is 250 input or output locations that can be used. So how do we get the AudioShare point-to-point network to play nice in a traditional audio distribution methodology like Control4 uses? To start off with, let's just look at a really quick example of an audio distribution solution. Here we have two input sources which could be routed out to 4 different output zones. What you would traditionally do is we would label those zones or as a port or a zone number. In this case we have port or zone 1 through 4. Now in an AudioShare system where each one of the wall stations can act as a source of input music as well as an output or zone destination, and where they can each talk to each other in a network, we arbitrarily assign a room or a wall station to a specific port or a zone. Now that really doesn't mean anything other than just what we want to label it as, or what port we want to assign it to. So in the case of a 16 port hub driver, then we will support 16 virtual zone assignments. We also will support 32, and if needed we can go higher than that, but anyway, that's kind of the way that we present that within Control4. So anyway, if you want more specific information about how to install these drivers and set them up, that will be handled in other videos, but this is what we wanted to cover in this video. Anyway, have a great day.